One of the easiest ways to dig your own grave as an e-commerce brand is commonly seen with brands who have very strong organic sales or if they've raised a lot of capital, and that's to overestimate your LTV. When brands like that start to scale aggressively, they look to their LTV as the most they can spend on acquiring a customer. But there are 3 reasons that assumption usually ends in disaster. The first one is that the LTV of an organic customer is almost never going to be the same as the LTV of a paid ads customer. Your organic customer will typically have more of a relationship with you or your brand, and they will want your product because they've been nurtured by your content for a long time. The paid ad customer, on the other hand, not only hasn't developed that sort of a relationship or affinity for your brand, but they are by definition susceptible to paid advertising, which means that there's a very good chance that your competitors will steal them away from you someday. Secondly, you're often over-extrapolating limited data. A fast-growing brand will be looking at data from customers that they acquired 12 months ago to be able to determine LTVs. But typically your older customers are the early adopters, and they're going to be a little bit stickier as opposed to the ones that you're acquiring as you scale. Those are going to be the harder to convince customers that might not be around as long. And thirdly, even if your LTV to CAC ratio makes sense and you're acquiring people in a way that they will be profitable over their lifetime, consider the cash flow timing. LTV is realized over a large period of time. They have to repurchase from you over and over for you to be able to receive that revenue. But your CAC hits right away. You have to pay those ad costs up front. So if I spend $100 to acquire a customer, but I only get $70 of that profit on day one, and the other, let's say $40 of profit is going to hit 6 months later, that's cool from a profitability perspective, but from a cash flow perspective, I've got a big gap there. So the safest way to avoid all this is to try to aim to be new customer contribution margin order profitable on that first order. If you want to play the CAC to LTV game, then just try to be a little bit more conservative with your assumptions and try to track your LTV by acquisition cohort. And as always, cash flow timing matters, so especially if you're not going to be first order profitable, then make sure you have a really robust cash flow forecast to make sure you can afford that scaling. The more aggressively you want to scale, the more important it is that your data is on point so that you're not actually just slowly killing yourself.